Welcome back to the CNBC TV 18 special. Today I'm coming to you from the iconic Oberoi Hotel in New Delhi. It's going to be temporarily shut down for 2 years as the Oberoi family thinks this is the time for a restoration. Why is that the case? Well, I've been busy interviewing the media-shy Oberoi family. The bold decision to shut down the hotel for restoration was spearheaded by the 87-year-old industry legend PRS Oberoi himself. He soon won over his son Vikram Oberoi and nephew Arjun Oberoi. The two younger Oberois had initially wanted to renovate the hotel in bits and pieces.
You know, from day one, he was actually very, very clear. And Mr. Oberoi comes with so much experience and so much wisdom. We in comparison, have a lot less experience. And so, you know, we said, does it really need to be closed down? Can we do it over a few years? In stages. And what was very nice about Mr. Oberoi was he said, please go and look at it, evaluate it and let me know. And so we met on 2 occasions, had 2 meetings where we spent quite a lot of time to see if that could be done. And just given the extensive work that needs to be done in the hotel, we then came to the conclusion that the only way was to close it down.
So he already knew, but he had to wait for the kids to figure it out.
He already knew, but he needed to wait for the kids to figure it out.
And how long did it take you all to get on board?
So actually it just took 2 meetings, but there were 2 meetings with all the project people, the design people.
And there was always consensus on who was going to be the new designers, the new architects, etc.
Mr. Oberoi and Arjun were involved in that decision. And I think at that stage it wasn't even, we hadn't selected the designers. Mr. Oberoi will have a better idea if we had selected the designers at that point, because the decision to do this actually, or the thinking started well before today. And you know, it's been a long process and quite a lot of planning.
I was asking your father this question, that you know, you're doing this at this hotel, which is pretty much the first luxury hotel in the country. Is this something you're going to do with your other hotels across the country? Well,
Bangalore, you know, we've renovated Bangalore, and Bangalore, just again, given the way the hotel was structured, we could do Bangalore over 2 years, closing half the rooms down, renovating half the rooms, and then the second half. So I think it really depends from hotel to hotel. To close a hotel down is always a big decision, and to close a large hotel down, which is very important in terms of profitability, is a big decision. But you know, we're a company that never looks at tomorrow. We think long term. And I think thinking long-term helps you take the right decisions. If you think very short-term, you end up taking the wrong decisions. So we're fortunate in that we do think long-term. But I think it's very hard to compare, you know, 2 different... Each hotel has to be evaluated on whether it can be done while the hotel is operational, what is the extent of work that needs to be carried out, what is the disruption that will happen, and then take a decision accordingly. I don't think you can, you know, one size...
It's not a blanket decision.
No, one size doesn't fit all.
So you say the profitability will obviously be dented. It is one of your most famous hotels. You opened with 100% occupancy and you're shutting it when there's 100% occupancy. So for the rest of the group, I would imagine then the expansion plans will be put on hold, or you're going to think very carefully now about expanding?
Well, we're going to work even harder. So...
we could see new hotels being announced, you're saying?
We're opening 3 hotels this year, in the 3rd quarter of this year. 1 hotel opens in Chandigarh, 1 in Morocco, in Marrakesh, and 1 in Ajman, which is an Emirates not far from Dubai, a beach resort. So we're opening 3 hotels this year. And we, you know, we have to work harder. If this hotel, how do we make other hotels more profitable? How do we drive profitability at other hotels?
The 3 hotels that you're going to open in the 3rd quarter were decided a long time back. The work was underway. So what I was trying to ask you was, could you look at opening new hotels in the 18 months, finalize new deals, when your profitability will be under question, it'll be dented? Is it possible?
Yeah. Well, actually, profitability won't be dented that much. We as I said, we'll work harder to drive revenue and profitability for our existing hotels. But having said that, you know, we continue to look at expanding. We continue to look opening new hotels. and we'll continue to do that. And our approach towards expansion is through management contracts with some or no equity, unlike this hotel, which is entirely owned by EIH. So we will continue to do that.
PRS Oberoi's nephew Arjun Oberoi is equally nostalgic and calls this the end of an era. But Arjun is convinced the Oberoi Hotel in its new avatar will raise the bar for the hospitality sector.
It's a destination which is very close to many people's minds and hearts, because it became such a center for many activities, whether it was celebrating an occasion or a special function. Many guests here have seen their children get married here, and so it's cross-generational, and in many ways it has a place in many people's hearts, both in the city and, of course, the many people who have come to stay here.
I asked this from Vikram as well. Mr. PRS Oberoi told me he always knew the hotel would have to be temporarily shut down, and it was the two of you that had to make terms with it. Is that correct?
Well, there were many plans. I think one of the thoughts was to actually start again, but I think that proved to be too complicated. And the basic bones of the hotel are good, so I think Mr. Oberoi decided that we need to renovate the existing structure, and to that extent, yes, it would be best that we close the hotel, because we also didn't want to disrupt the guests that would stay here.
Which is your most favorite restaurant in this hotel, and the favorite dish?
Favorite dish? Gosh, favorite restaurant. Well, I think 360 is a great restaurant, because it really took the city by storm. There were many things there which were innovative and new, and both to India and to our company at the time. Of course, the sushi there is fantastic, so that was a breakthrough in many respects. So I'd say yes, and that's going to be the biggest challenge, how to relaunch that restaurant and keep it top of mind, and make sure that it's really innovative and is prepared to take on the customers for the next 10 years.
Kapil Chopra, currently the Hospitality Group's president, started his career in the Oberoi New Delhi as a front office manager. He now works very closely with the Oberoi family.
So I remember meeting Cheryl Sandberg from Facebook at the Oberoi Gurgaon, and I said, welcome to the Oberoi, when I met her. And I thought, because we do not have any presence in the United States, that she may just take some time to relate to the Oberoi. And she says, I love coming back and staying at the Oberoi. And we were slightly stunned, because we had already looked up her profile and had realized that she'd never been to India in the last foreseeable future and not stayed with us anywhere. So I said, she says, and my favorite hotel is the Oberoi in Delhi. And I said, that's great, Cheryl, but I really tried a lot, but I couldn't really find you staying there. She says, no, that time I was not working for Facebook. In the 90s, I used to come to the Oberoi Delhi because I was working for a World Bank project on water conservation in Madhya Pradesh.
Wow.
So we would go to Madhya Pradesh. There were no great hotels, and it was days since we would get a decent shower. So the Oberoi New Delhi was the heaven for us to come back and take a decent shower and really live in luxury. And I thought that was a really interesting story. And so she stayed with us at the Oberoi Gurgaon, because she was meeting all the corporate CEOs for 2 nights. And then she was here with her kids. And she came and stayed here at the Oberoi Delhi for 3 days. And we ran a big banner across the hotel and said, welcome back, Cheryl.
So this is like, now you know who I am, and I still love this hotel.
Exactly. So and I think there are many, many stories like this, actually.
You also have a tough job of, as your president, of also managing the finances, of making sure everything is running smoothly. This is a profitable hotel, not just because of your RevPARs, the revenue per average room, but also because of the restaurants that you have here. It's going to take a dent on your balance sheet, plus you have to undertake capital expenditure to renovate and restore the hotel. Yeah. So what's the plan?
So you should really look at it. Very proud to say that we are India's pretty much only profitable hotel company. Not this year, but for the last 3-4 years. The numbers are in the space. We had a great year. We actually doubled our net profits in the last year of the UPA government also, when everybody was saying that there was not much happening on the economic front, but we were pretty doing well. I think we've got a renewed energy in our sales and marketing focus, and I'll give you a very interesting statistic. On an operating level of profits, today with the Oberoi New Delhi closing, I'm still going to be making a substantial number of what I did 2 years back with the Oberoi New Delhi Inn. And that is one of the reasons why the decision really to do the Oberoi Delhi has been taken now. Because I think we have crossed that hurdle. 2 years back, with the Oberoi Delhi, the amount of money we were making on an operating profit level is actually lower than what we budgeted this year.
So
without the Oberoi Delhi.
How much is it?
But I think those are numbers which are...
You're a publicly listed company.
But those numbers would come out when... I think I need to first inform the stock markets, no?
Okay.
because of those reasons. But just to give you an example. So I think, yes, obviously, because when you incur capital expenditure, when you close a hotel down like this, there is a temporary blip of a year, financial year or a year and a half. But I think the returns are going to be phenomenally substantial because, again, the engine's all wired up.
But how long do you think it will take for you to start showing returns?
The way that I look at it is, the day this hotel opens, in the first month, we're going to have a record gross operating profit. And you can ask me on the 30th day.
Is that going to be because of the restaurants or the rooms or everything?
Both. Because we are so well organized that we are very confident.
So when you open, are you going to, the room rates, are they going to be far more?
So the Oberoi New Delhi will have the highest average room rate for any city hotel in India when we open. And that is what I can promise you. I said the same to your channel 4.5 years back at the opening of the Oberoi Gurgaon, and I kept that promise.
And it's time now for us to check out of the Oberoi in New Delhi. Thanks for watching the CNBC TV 18 special.